Hello, this is Pete, M0PSX from SExam, with a short video looking at the direct to full exams that were announced by the RSGB in July of 2022. So, what is direct to full? It's a new exam that's launching in January of 2023. There are 75 multiple choice questions and the exam is 2.5 hours long. And this is really aimed at people that have existing knowledge, mainly in the electronics area, but ideally also in the RF field as well. It's for people with considerable experience that don't need to go through foundation, intermediate and full in order to get the full license. So it is fairly specialist. How does it work? Well, it's an online only exam, there are no practical assessments, and the exam is in 2 parts. You need to pass both parts of the exam in a single session. Looking at part 1, this is all about license conditions and operating practices. There are 18 questions and you need to get 14 of them or more correct. That's a pass mark of 77.7%. Looking at part 2, this is the harder section with all of the technical questions in there. 57 questions and you have to get 36 right, which is a pass of 63.2%. And you can see the categories on screen here. A common question we've already had so far is, can you find existing courses and material to help you get direct to full? Well, it's the same syllabus whether you're going through foundation, intermediate and full or direct to full. It's of course expected that those with the existing knowledge may not need to go through a course and already have a significant amount of experience under their belt already. So they may not need courses, they may not need the course books. At the moment, the existing course books will work. The foundation, intermediate and full manuals will get you there whichever of the 2 routes you go down. And as yet, no news on courses, but again it's expected people will have that considerable experience and may not even need a course. So who can take it? Well, newcomers of course, also foundation and intermediate, so it may be worth looking at going direct to full if you already have a license. We'll look at that in a little bit more detail, but the requirements have been released by the RSGB. Those going for direct to full will expect to have a technical background, be proficient at the STEM subjects broadly equivalent to a strong pass at GCSE or equivalent. You'll need to be familiar with calculations with quantities from 10 to the minus 12 to 10 to the 12th. You'll be expected to be familiar with simple formulae, including brackets, squared and square root operators, use and transposition of more complex formulae, a working knowledge of Ohm's law, and knowledge of units including volt, amp, ohms, hertz, Henry, farad, and expressions such as resistance, reactance, impedance and resonance. So quite a bit there. Next common question, is it an easier option? Well, as I say, it's the same syllabus, so you'll still need to know the technical stuff that you can see on the screen here. Okay, another common question we've had, what happens if I fail? Well, the answer is you'll have to take it again or go down the 3-tier route. People have been asking, if you take the direct to full and maybe only just fail, would you find yourself with an intermediate? No, the answer is no, either you pass or you fail the direct to full. Okay, this is the biggie. If you've already got an intermediate license, would it make sense for you to take the full exam or go through the direct to full? We don't really know the answer yet and we haven't seen any mock papers that will help us out here, but we can take a look at the basics. So if you were intermediate today and you wanted to take the full, that would be 58 questions, a 2-hour exam at a fee of £37.50. For direct to full, you'd have more questions and a longer exam, but the good news is you'd also be being asked questions that you should already know the answers to from foundation and intermediate, so there's a little bit of weighing up to do here. And again, if you're at intermediate, this is how the exam would break down. Now we'd hope that the 12 and 6 questions on licensing and operating, you should know if you have an intermediate license. So that's already 18 points or paper 1 safely under your belt. Some of the technical questions you're probably going to struggle with until you've gone through the full syllabus, but there are a few questions that you might find are quite easy. So looking through the syllabus, things like propagation, where it asks multiple hops are needed for worldwide propagation, that's a foundation question that's also in direct to full. And similarly, things like the safety categories, where you've got the fact that you mustn't touch a casualty that's being electrocuted. Again, that's a foundation question that may come up at direct to full. So you may be lucky and find that some of the questions you've already got under your belt at intermediate. But again, you are going to get some technical questions that you need to know the full syllabus for to get a pass in paper 2. Another common question here relates to the overseas use. So the UK full licence is HAREC compliant, which means you can take it to other countries and swap it for licences in certain other countries. So we might see people from outside the UK who want to get a full licence using the online UK version of Direct to Full to get a full licence that they can use in other countries. I can't see why this isn't permitted at the moment. It may be something that the RSGB look at, but people may use it as a shortcut to get a full UK licence outside of the UK to trade up in other countries. And the big question, are we going back to the RAE? Well, on the screen here you can see a comparison. So in column 1 we've got the 2022 3-tier system, 3 exams, 4.5 hours and 130 questions to get the full exam. With direct to full, that would be a single paper in 2 parts, 2.5 hours, 75 questions. And the RAE in 2003 would have been 80 questions, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and 1 exam paper. So, was the RAE harder or easier than today's full? We've taken a look here at the RAE exam from December 2003, and in that paper it looks like 52% of the questions were what we'd see today as foundation licence level questions. 34% of the old RAE were intermediate and only 14% were what we class today as full questions. So you could look at it as the old RAE was pretty much equivalent to today's intermediate. Of course, the current full exam is a lot more complex as well. There's all the digital stuff in there, there's DMR, there's SDRs. The syllabus is definitely more bloated than it was back under RAE. So again, that makes it for a more difficult exam. And if you look at the spread of questions down here on the left of the screen, you can see a lot more questions asked of a deep technical nature at full than there were under RAE. So looking at it, certainly from the 2003 exam, today's full is definitely far more involved than the old RAE. And there you go, that's our quick look at the new Direct to Full. You can find more information on our website at www.sxham.uk/D2F. You can also find more information on the RSGB's website, rsgb.org. So there we go, hopefully you found that useful, our look at Direct to Full, and if you have any questions, please do get in touch. Thanks for watching, and 73.
This feature was brought to you by Essex Ham.